Wait! Audrey, stop! Don't use that.
I thought you liked spells.
Mistakes happen, don't they, Audrey? We don't mean to single you out, but we feel like you'd understand where we're coming from. You probably didn't notice any inconsistencies when you were trying to take over Auradon, but we spotted dozens of them, and we're about to reveal them one by one. But don't worry, these mistakes won't ruin your reputation in any way. Like many other movies, Descendants 3 has a handful of mistakes that can be both easy and challenging to spot. We're about to reveal them all, so keep watching.
You like a prince, Mal? How about our knight in shining armor? Or knights?
The basket of pears. The Queen of Mean acts on impulse. If she gets mad, she curses whoever offended her, and if she wants answers, she questions whoever is next to her. She always gives them what she thinks they deserve. Chad Charming might be a follower, but he never betrayed Audrey's trust. Right before Audrey locks Chad in a closet, she questions him and throws a glass bowl at his head. But before she does this, she empties out the pear bowl on the table. At first, there's a total of 5 pears on the table, but when the camera cuts back to Audrey, there are only 3 pears left. Dizzy's outfits. At the very beginning of D3, the villain kids put on quite the show alongside the core 4. They dance, do wicked acrobatics, and show off their true colors. Despite showing us some awesome moves, something bizarre happens to Dizzy during this musical number. We first see Dizzy wearing a long dress made out of patchwork, but then a few seconds later, we see her wearing an entirely different outfit. How did Dizzy manage to switch outfits so quickly? This is the most fashionable mistake we've ever seen. Mal's powers. Another mistake we couldn't help but notice has everything to do with Mal. When Hades tries to escape through the barrier, then Jay and Carlos try to stop him, but he blasts them with his ember. This causes Mal to transform into a dragon and take on her dear old dad. But Hades ends up blasting her too, and according to Mal, he was draining all of her powers. So why is it that Mal's powers didn't take a hit throughout the film? This is more of an inconsistency than a mistake, but it's puzzling nonetheless. The security guard. Another inconsistency we couldn't help but notice occurs when Audrey goes to the Museum of Cultural History. Audrey doesn't have any magical powers of her own, yet somehow she manages to put the guard to sleep. With Uma on the loose, we find it very unlikely that the guard chose to take a snooze. Audrey obviously put the guard to sleep before cutting the security cameras, but how did she do this? It just doesn't make any sense. She also opened the museum's gates without laying a finger on them. Protect the crown, not the scepter. But Audrey's magical touch isn't the only strange thing that happens at the museum. Everything from the Queen's crown to Cinderella's glass slipper to Genie's lamp is protected by security glass. But when it came to Maleficent's scepter, nothing was shielding it from Audrey's grasp. This is super off-putting considering the scepter is a super dangerous weapon. Jane's birthday cake. Descendants 3 managed to make us feel an array of emotions, and one of those was jealousy. Who else wanted to grab a piece of Jane's birthday cake but couldn't? Well, you're not alone. Luckily, Dizzy and Celia were able to steal a piece from Jane's birthday cake before Carlos had the chance to give it to her. We clearly see that a single piece of cake is missing, but when the camera cuts to Dizzy and Celia eating cake, they each have their own piece and plate. So why is it that there was only one piece missing from the cake? The cupcake. Once Audrey gets her hands on the crown and the scepter, she doesn't waste any time. She crashes Jane's party and starts picking on everyone in her path.
Does that make you sad? Does it just ruin everything?
She even grabs a cupcake out of someone's hands and throws it away. Now that's just cruel. Were we the only ones who noticed that Audrey grabbed the cupcake backwards and yet didn't have any frosting on her hand once she chucked it? Tell us if you noticed this mistake in the comments below. Watch your back, Carlos.
You like a prince, Mal? How about our knight in shining armor? Or knights?
One of our favorite scenes from Descendants 3 is the Metal Knight fight. This is when the VKs truly learn how to work together. At one point during the fight, Carlos loses his sword. There's a knight right above him who's ready to strike, so Celia saves the day by sliding a shield Carlos's way. But for some strange reason, the knight never strikes Carlos. Carlos puts the shield up, but nothing happens. Then he slides away on it. Was this a huge mistake on the knight's part? VK Day is here. We all know that Mal is a talented spray paint artist, but during the Good to Be Bad musical number, we see Mal making a huge mistake. She's supposed to be spray painting VK Day on the door of a barn, but it just didn't look believable. Clearly, Mal was just pretending to spray paint. Old Hag Mal. Audrey may be a lot of things, but humorless is not one of them. She turns Mal into an old hag at the beginning of D3.
You think Ben will love you now, you old hag?
Forcing Mal and her friends to return to the aisle. Mal's back is curved and she can hardly walk. Yet somehow she manages to squeeze into her VK outfit and ride a motorcycle. That just doesn't make any sense. Did you notice anything we didn't? Sound off in the comments. Thank you for watching The Things. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll catch you next time.